This screen recording serves to give you an overview of CONVERIS Analytics. There are three main possibilities to design different reports in CONVERIS Analytics, and you see them up here. The first choice is an interactive report that we'll have a closer look at in a few seconds. The second option is to work with pivot tables and illustrate the results in different charts. And the third option is to include different dashboards or design different dashboards. So we start with the interactive report. You see that you on the left hand side have access to a set of different attributes and relations on a specific type of information that you have in your CONVERIS installation. In this example we're looking at project information. So if we want to, we can now include, for example, here the project title. So we simply click on it and we drop it onto the report. Let's say that we also include the co-investigator's first name and last name, like this. And if we want to, we can also then group the information. For example, we take the internal organization, and we see that we now have all the different projects per internal organizational unit. If you have information like budget information or any kinds of numbers, they can then be summarized like this here into a sum for each part of the table that we see here. And all this information can also be formatted in different ways, as you see here. For example, if we want to have this budget information now aligned to the right and using, for example, a specific format. Any of the text can be entered or edited in any way you like. So projects per internal org unit, for example. Once you have done your report, you can save that as a template and reuse it at any later time. And you can also export it as a PDF, Excel, CSV, or produced as an HTML file. So if we take Excel as an example, you see that this very report now opens up in Excel, and we have the possibility to continue to work with information this way. If we now continue with a further example and look at the pivot tables, and we take, in this case, for example, publications. We see that we, in a similar way as before, get a number of different attributes and relations that we can have a closer look at. And we now take, for example, the organizational type. And we drop it on here, we see that we get the organizational types in different rows. If we combine this now with a number, we will see that we have a number of joint publications with different types of organizations. So if we now take the country name, we can then see what we do with each country and each type of organization. In this table, you have different options to include the totals, but also show drill-throughs through the different cells. And by having this pivot table in this way, we can now choose to illustrate the information, for example, as bar charts. Higher and secondary education, industry, others. And we have the different countries, or if we choose to show that as a line chart, and maybe switching now the organizational type and the country name, we see that for each organizational type how that differs for the different countries, as an example. If we have geographical information, we can then illustrate the collaboration also in different maps and show this now either by color, or show the collaboration by size, where we can see that we have a lot of collaboration with a certain country. If we now go to the third alternative, the dashboard, the dashboard allows you to have different graphical designs, or if we want to, we can now pick up one of the existing dashboards that we have, for example, instead of designing a new one. And we see that we now get a combination of a table, this is just a URL, or different graphs like this. And if we want to, we can open that up and have a closer look at this information. So hopefully that provided you with an overview of CONVERIS Analytics. And if you want any further information, don't hesitate to contact us.